Well, hello everybody. This is John Michael Talbot. We're looking at the third session of my book of Holy is His Name, the retreat, and we're looking at the morning, or the part A of the third session, and we're looking at the line, "For he looked with favor on his lowly servant." Looked with favor. And interestingly enough, I want to take a look at this in the actual text. There are different versions if we look at this. Luke 1:48. The Revised Standard says, "For he has regarded the low estate of his handmaiden." The New Revised Standard says, "For he has looked with favor on the lowliness of his servant." The New American says, "For he has looked upon his handmaid's lowliness." And the Evening Prayer of the Roman Office says, "For he has looked with favor on his lowly servant." And in my version, I just say, "He has looked with mercy on my lowliness." So there's all kinds of different variations in the actual translations. The word look in the Greek is epiplebo, and it means to look upon, to regard, and to respect. Now the Lord looks on Mary with this respect because she has been kept from sin. She is, as the East calls her, the All-Holy One, the Panagia, as they would call her. In the West, we call her the Immaculate Conception. There are different theological aspects to this. Both the East and the West believe that she is kept from sin from the womb. Now we differ as to exactly when that happened or how and the theological reasons, but suffice it to say that she is kept from sin from the womb before she's even born. And this is quite remarkable. In the West, we say that she is kept from sin, and there's a Christological reason for this, so that she can give birth to a son who is without sin, so that he can bear sin on the cross. And since God is his Father, he can therefore bear the sins of an infinite number of people. But if she was with sin, the Son would inherit that sin as her son. Therefore, he could not bear the sins of others on the cross. So it's this Star Trek loop, huh? So on the cross, he could bear the sins of others. Therefore, and because he is God incarnate, he could bear the sins of those from the past and in the future and in the present. So she is kept from sins by the nature of the cross of the Son that she would bear, so that he could therefore bear the sins of others on the cross. Wow. Isn't that a paradox? That is a paradox. So she is kept from sin. So God regards her with great favor and with great respect because she is kept from sin, and she will give birth to the Son who will keep her from sin and will save his people from sin. So God looks upon her with regard and with respect. He also looks upon us with regard and with respect. Now don't get me wrong, he sees us as sinners because we are. But he also looks upon each human soul with respect because he sees us as we are, but he also sees us as we will become in eternity. Isn't that powerful? He sees us as we will become. He sees us as we are born pure, with sin but pure. He sees us as we accumulate our sins, as we are. And he sees us washed from sin through the blood of the cross of Jesus. And he sees us purified from sin in eternity. So the question is also asked, how do we see others? As the spiritual father of the Brothers and Sisters of Charity, I see so many people come and go from this community, and I see most of them that go leave because they can't get along with each other. And I spend, golly, hundreds, thousands of hours with so many in conferences. And they can't get along with brother A or sister A or B. And oh my gosh, I just hear so much. And they can't. And I see them because of their love for Jesus and their wanting to follow Christ. I really do. And I see them as they are in that love for Christ, and I see them for what they could be if they would just give up their pettiness and their sins and become saints. And we have to see each other for who we can be. We have to see Christians that way. And we have to see every human being that way. Mother Teresa says she could see Jesus in every dying person, whether they were Christians or believers or not. So let's ponder, how does God look with favor on you? Is this how you see yourself? Or do you see yourself as just a no-good scoundrel? Do you see yourself that way and get discouraged? How do you look with favor and respect on others, especially those you see as the most sinful, maybe the one you can't get along with? What can you do to reveal the eyes of Christ and the favor of God to others? That's quite a question, in my estimation. St. Francis says, there's no brother, no matter how far he has sinned in the whole world, who shouldn't be called back to forgiveness simply by looking into your eyes. Now, don't get me wrong. I just had to read a Brother the Riot Act the other day. I don't do it very often. I mean, literally every few years. But I had tried kindness, pleading. Finally I said, you know what, I'm going to have to get rough with this guy. So I had to read him the Riot Act. I bawled him out. But I wasn't angry. I had to make myself look that way to get his attention, But most of the time, you have to just look, call them to forgiveness, to love. So these are good points to ponder. Remember, this can be done because all things are possible with God.